Hello friends, welcome to Manu Law Classes. I am Gautam Dikshit, GK and Current Affairs faculty. तो आज का वीडियो स्टार्ट करते हैं दोस्तों. डेली हिंदू एनालिसिस ऑफ अक्टूबर 13, 2021. नाउ जो पहला बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन आ रहा है, एक्सपर्ट पैनल क्लियर्स कोवैक्सीन फॉर एमरजेंसी यूज इन 2 to 18 एज ग्रुप. नाउ इन 2 to 18 एज ग्रुप हम पहले से ही जानते हैं ज़ाइकोव डी which is the first DNA vaccine of the world. It has already been under trial for 12 to 18 years age group. But अब भारत बायोटेक का जो वैक्सीन है कोवैक्सीन, it is now being approved for emergency use in 2 to 18 age group. तो यहाँ पे हम अपने एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से important informations लेंगे. The first is that भारत बायोटेक्स COVID-19 वैक्सीन which is called as कोवैक्सीन, इसका टेक्निकल नाम है BB5 या BBV152. It has been recommended for emergency use authorization for 2 to 18 year old. By whom? By Subject Expert Committee of Central Drug Standards Control Organization. The second point जो important है from exam point of view कि कोवैक्सीन जो है वो हमारे इंडिया का first indigenous whole virion inactivated vaccine है. It is developed by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with Indian Medical Research Council and National Institute of Virology. ये इस साल के कैट के एग्जाम में भी ये क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था. नाउ व्हाट इज द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ दिस अप्रूवल? इफ द ड्रग कंट्रोलर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया गिव्स अप्रूवल फॉर द यूज ऑफ कोवैक्सीन इन 2 to 18 एज ग्रुप, देन इट विल बी द फर्स्ट कोविड वैक्सीन ग्लोबली टू बी यूज्ड फॉर वैक्सीनेटिंग द चिल्ड्रन एज यंग एज 2 years. हम पहले से जानते हैं कि फाइजर जो है it is also for the age group of 12 to 18 years. Zycov D is also for 12 to 18 age group. Covishield जो Serum Institute of India है, it is also developing a vaccine Covovax for 12 to 18 age group. But 2 to 18 age group के लिए कोई वैक्सीन नहीं है. So after getting the green signal, it is going to become the first vaccine globally for 2 to 18 years age group. Now the second is that what will be the difference between the dosage. So in adults, the difference between the dosage of Covaxin is like 3 to 4 weeks, but children में there will be the gap of only 28 days, not more than that. Now how it is going to help us? So it is going to help us, जैसे कि हम जानते हैं कि there is shortage of vaccines for children, means अभी डेवलप नहीं हुआ था, बट ये आ जाने से we can ensure that our children are also safe from COVID-19. Now we also have a editorial related to it which says that phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trials जो है, जो भारत बायोटेक का हुआ है on children, it should be made public, it should be made transparent. Why? Because जो फिजियोलॉजी होता है, मीन्स जो बॉडी का रिस्पॉन्स होता है टूवर्ड्स द वैक्सीन बिटवीन एडल्ट एंड चिल्ड्रन, दे बोथ आर different. So there is a need to make the data of the trials, phase 1, phase 2, phase trials open. एक और important news है कोवैक्सीन से related जो हमको ध्यान देना पड़ेगा, that कोवैक्सीन is also seeking a global approval from World Health Organization for emergency use. From India, only Covishield is the vaccine which has got the emergency use authorization from World Health Organization, but कोवैक्सीन अभी भी the application is pending with WHO, and experts are claiming by the end of October Covaxin is going to get the approval. So when it will get, we will do that news. Now economy से अच्छा एक न्यूज़ आ रहा है that retail inflation has fallen to 4.35%. रिटेल इन्फ्लेशन का मतलब होता है द इन्फ्लेशन जो हम कंज्यूमर प्राइस इंडेक्स के थ्रू मेजर करते हैं, जिसको हम CPI कहते हैं, विच इज़ released monthly by National Statistics Organization under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. अब अगर हम कल का न्यूज़ अगर देखें, कल और परसों का न्यूज़ हमने कल एडिटोरियल में भी डिस्कस किया था कि RBI ने इस साल रिटेल इन्फ्लेशन का जो प्रोजेक्शन है उसको 5.7% से 5.3% कर दिया था. ओके, बट अब जो रिटेल इन्फ्लेशन का जो आया है सितंबर के मंथ का, इट इज़ नाउ 4.35%. जब भी इन्फ्लेशन के न्यूज़ आते हैं, वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन दैट वाई, ड्यू टू व्हाट फैक्टर्स द इन्फ्लेशन इज लेस. यहाँ पर हम ध्यान देंगे. सो द मेजर रीज़न दैट वाई इन्फ्लेशन हैज़ फॉलन डाउन टू 4.35% इज द शार्प डीप इन फूड प्राइस. शार्प डीप इन फूड प्राइस. ओके, Then the second is that the industrial output growth, it has accelerated to 11.9%. Now the second thing is that कि इकोनॉमिस्ट हमें एक कॉशनरी नोट दे रहे हैं कि वी शुड नॉट बी वेरी हैप्पी विद द फॉलिंग इन्फ्लेशन लेवल. नाउ व्हाई? बिकॉज सी, अगर हम फूड इन्फ्लेशन की बात करें, ओके, विच इज़ ऑल्सो मेजर्ड बाय द कंज्यूमर फूड प्राइस इंडेक्स, it fell to just 0.68% in September after declining to 3.1% in August. जो सबसे ज़्यादा फॉल इन प्राइस हुआ है वो है वेजिटेबल का. There is a negative inflation of 22.5%, but prices in oils and fat has remained very high at 34.2%. Edible oil और fat का अभी भी जो inflation rate है, it is still very high. At the same time, प्रोटीन सोर्सेज जो होते हैं, पल्सेस, एग्स एंड मीट, उनका भी इन्फ्लेशन रेट इज नाउ 7 to 8.75%. थर्ड, कोर इन्फ्लेशन. नाउ व्हाट इज कोर इन्फ्लेशन? इफ वी डोंट इंक्लूड द इन्फ्लेशन ऑफ फूड एंड फ्यूल, okay, if we don't include the inflation of food and fuel, so rest of the inflation of rest of the product is called as core inflation. So core inflation means normal inflation minus food and fuel inflation, that is core inflation. It mainly reflects the inflation in manufacturing products, and it also reflects the long term inflation. So if we will just see that core inflation, उसका definition यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है कि which doesn't include food and fuel price trend is still very high at 5.8%. okay, and it is going to rise in the future. Why? Because of rising prices of petroleum, which is energy, rising prices of metals and logistic cost. The next one is about the high base. High base का मतलब कि the high base of the current month is going to temporarily dampen the consumer price inflation for October and November to below 4%. The next is Modi for humanitarian help to Afghanistan. So over here, some important point which we should note is that this statement was made at the G20 leaders meeting on Afghanistan, which was held yesterday. इस meeting में the India has called for observation of the demands made in United Nations Security Resolution 2593, which is a necessary condition for Taliban. Why? Because see, what is in the United Nations Security Resolution 2593? So it is that preventing Afghanistan territory from becoming the source of radicalization and terrorism is the main demand made in United Nations Security Resolution 2593, to which India also voted in the Security Council. So over here, our Prime Minister has laid stress that the international response to Afghan crisis should be based on the conditions which have been laid down in United Nations Security Council 2593, which says that the Afghanistan territory should not become the source of radicalization and terrorism. Then next important point is that PM slams selective reading of rights issues. So over here, he was speaking at the 28th Foundation Day of National Human Rights Commission. So National Human Rights Commission, it was established on 12th October 1993. Okay, it is a statutory body which is established under the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. The current chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission is retired Justice Arun Kumar Mishra, or he is the retired Supreme Court judge. Only the retired Supreme Court judge can become the chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission according to the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. Now, this is the news which we are doing in succession. We already know that the attack on civilians in Jammu and Kashmir Valley has increased, and the army has intensified its operation in Valley. और जो एक terrorist group है जिसका नाम बहुत बार आ रहा है और जिस पे आर्मी का टारगेट भी है इस वक्त. नाउ सी, अर्लियर 2 militants from ISIS and around 4 militants from Total Resistance Front, they were nabbed. Now the 5 more militants, okay, from TRF, the Resistance Front, who were behind the recent civilian killings in the valley, they were killed, okay, and 2 multi-story houses were damaged. Now ये ऑपरेशन कहाँ पे हुआ? अगेन इन द वैली एरिया ऑफ सोफिया. नाउ this is the news which I have already done, and this is one of the important news. OFB Ordnance Factory Board. Now ये जो एक इसको अब गवर्नमेंट ने डिसॉल्व कर दिया है. दिस इज नॉट मोर इन एग्जिस्टेंस. Now Ordnance Factory Board was responsible for manufacturing arms and ammunition for defense sector. Now after the formal launch, the government has launched new 7 defense public sector undertakings. So that is very important information, that government has launched new 7 defense public sector undertakings. Okay, and all the 65,000 crore order with OFB has been now given to the defense public sector undertakings. Okay, so the prime minister is going to launch the 7 new DPSUs on October 15th. Okay, so this is one of the important news. The next is about the Malabar exercise. Okay, now Malabar exercise phase 1 and phase 2. So Malabar exercise is associated with Quad group. Australia, India, Japan and US, they are the members of the Quad group. Quad group is the dialogue platform between these 4 countries for development of Indo-Pacific region. So they conduct a annual naval exercise which is called as Malabar exercise. Now this Malabar exercise for this year, they had 2 phases. Now if you will just see, the phase 1 of the Malabar exercise was already held in August in Guam. It is a region in Pacific Ocean. It's a small island in Pacific Ocean. Now the phase 2, which began yesterday, it began in Bay of Bengal. Now phase 2 will focus on building upon the synergy, coordination and interoperability which was developed during the phase 1, and it is also going to focus on some advanced defense interoperability, like focus on advanced surface and anti-submarine warfare exercise, seamanship evolution and weapon firing. So these are the characteristics of phase 2 exercise. Now earlier, day before yesterday, we did a news that Adani group has decided that from November 15 they are not going to handle the cargo from Iran, Pakistan and Afghanistan. Why? Because of the drug seizure, heroin seizure, the seizing of heroin, 3000 kg heroin from Mundra port in Gujarat. Later on, this investigation was given to National Investigation Agency. Now see, this is very important, that who seized this 3000 kg heroin. So it was not seized by NIA, it was seized by Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, DRI. So now NIA is conducting the searches in heroin cases which was transported from Iran. Okay, so from Afghanistan to Iran and then from Iran to India in the Mundra port, and it was scheduled to be transported to Vijayawada. Now one important question is that where is the Bandar Abbas port? So the Bandar Abbas port is in Iran. It is in Iran. Now this is very important news for today, that government announces plastic waste recycling targets. So over here, the Environment Ministry, which is headed by Shri Bhupendra Yadav, so the Environment Ministry has issued a rule for plastic packaging material. So all the producers of the plastic packaging material will collect all their produce by 2024, and they will ensure that a minimum percentage of it is recycled. Okay, this is the most important point. Now if you will see that what is the new thing in this regulation, so this is the second important thing, that this regulation has introduced extended producer responsibility certificate. तो इसमें क्या होता है? इसमें ये होता है कि the producers who are successful in recycling their plastic, they will be given the extended producer responsibility certificate. Now what is the use of this certificate? This certificate can be used by the producer to give this certificate to those producers who have not achieved their target, and they can monetize this certificate. So this is called as trading. तो इसको कहते हैं कि एक competition generate करना market में for recycling of plastic. So this will enter into force from December 6. Now there is one thing that which is important. The next point is that a fraction of plastic which cannot be recycled, for example the multi-layered multi-material plastic. Multi-layered multi-material plastic का मतलब होता है कि there are several layers, more than one layer is not of plastic but of some other materials. They are very hard to recycle and they would be sent to end of life disposal, such as they can be used in road construction, they can be used in waste to energy, waste to oil and cement kilns. Now if you will see the category of plastic packaging, so there are three categories. The first is rigid plastic, the category 2 is flexible plastic packaging, okay, which consists of single layer or multi-layer, and the third category is a multi-layer plastic packaging which has at least one layer of plastic and at least one layer of material which is other than plastic. Now what is the responsibility of producers? So you see, the producers of plastics, they have to declare to the government that how much plastic they are producing annually, and then they have targets. By 2021-22 they have to collect at least 35% of the plastic which they are producing. By 2022-23 they have to collect at least 70% of the plastic which they are producing, and by 2024 they have to collect all the 100% of the plastic which they are producing. Then the next is that what is the target for recycling. So if we come in the rigid plastic, means which is the category 1, so minimum 50% of the rigid plastic would have to be recycled, okay. तो अगर रिजिड, अगर कैटेगरी 1 रिजिड प्लास्टिक का कैटेगरी है तो उसमें मिनिमम 50% रिसाइकलिंग ज़रूरी है, और अगर कैटेगरी 2 एंड कैटेगरी 3 है मीन्स फ्लेक्सिबल एंड मल्टी लेयर, फॉर दैट द टारगेट ऑफ recycling is 30% only, okay. And after 2026-27 that for category 1 it will be 80%, means rigid plastic के लिए the target will be 80%, and for flexible and multi layer it will be 60%. Now the next news is about that booster dose. So World Health Organization ने recommend किया है कि जिन persons का इम्यून सिस्टम कमज़ोर है उनको हम क्या कहते हैं मेडिकली, द टेक्निकल टर्म इज इम्यूनो कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड और इम्यूनो सप्रेस्ड पर्सन्स, दे कैन बी गिवन द बूस्टर डोज, ओके. सो दिस केम आफ्टर अ 4-day मीटिंग ऑफ स्ट्रेटेजिक एडवाइजरी ग्रुप ऑन इम्यूनाइजेशन and the final order is going to come in December, okay. But over here in India doctors are cautiously welcoming the booster dose plan, ओके क्योंकि अभी तो इंडिया में सब लोगों का वैक्सीनेशन हुआ भी नहीं है. अगर इफ़ यू गो फॉर द बूस्टर डोज प्लान सो देयर कैन बी द शॉर्टेज ऑफ वैक्सीन. द नेक्स्ट न्यूज़ इज तालिबान मीट EU-US टीम इन कतर. सो वी ऑलरेडी नो द हिस्ट्री कि बाय 15 August 2021 तालिबान कैप्चर्ड काबुल, दे एस्टेब्लिश्ड इंटरिम गवर्नमेंट इन अफगानिस्तान. आफ्टर दैट तालिबान इज सीकिंग टू गेट द इंटरनेशनल रिकग्निशन. इंटरनेशनल रिकग्निशन का मतलब कि बाकी कंट्री भी उसको रिकग्नाइज करें. वाई? बिकॉज सी, जब तक यूएस था अफगानिस्तान में, यूएस वाज द मेन सोर्स ऑफ डोनेशन टू अफगानिस्तान. नाउ आफ्टर द यूएस हैज़ लेफ्ट एंड तालिबान हैज़ टेकन ओवर मैनी कंट्रीज इन द वर्ल्ड, दे आर समवॉट नॉट कंफर्टेबल विद तालिबान, ओके. So now they want Taliban to show good records on humanitarian rights and governance, especially women and child. So that this is very necessary condition which has also been outlined in United Nations Security Council Resolution 2593. So there are many countries which want Taliban to have a good record on these two fronts so that they can provide the financial assistance. But there now the Taliban is meeting the EU-US team in Qatar, okay, and because Taliban now need fund, so Brussels has pledged euro 1 billion or $1.2 billion aid for Afghanistan, okay. Now see the second paragraph जो बहुत ही important है. The hardline Islamist, मतलब तालिबान की बात हो रही है. They are seeking recognition as well as assistance टू अवॉइड ए ह्यूमैनिटेरियन डिज़ास्टर. क्योंकि यहाँ पे हर चीज़ की स्कैरसिटी है, मेडिसिन की स्कैरसिटी हो चुकी है, पब्लिक गुड्स की स्कैरसिटी हो चुकी है. सो दे वांट टू अवॉइड दिस ह्यूमैनिटेरियन डिज़ास्टर. द इकोनॉमी हैज़ कोलैप्स्ड इन अफगानिस्तान बिकॉज ऑफ स्कैरसिटी ऑफ फंड. सो दैट्स वाई they are holding this meeting. अच्छा, second thing जो है इसमें कि you can have a question in your mind that why Brussels is giving euro 1 billion to तालिबान. ब्रसल्स, अगर आपको का क्वेश्चन पूछा जाए कि यूरोपियन यूनियन का हेडक्वार्टर कहाँ पे है, तो इट इज़ ब्रसल्स. नाउ हियर द प्रॉब्लम इज ऑफ रेफ्यूजीज. सो ऑलरेडी अगर आप यूरोपियन यूनियन को देखोगे, so they are already burdened with the refugees who are coming from Syria. Now after the Taliban takeover, many refugees from Afghanistan are going towards European Union, which is leading to a considerable burden on resources on this country. So they want to help Afghanistan, or you can say Taliban, so that they themselves take the steps and stop the refugee crisis. So this is one of the important reason that why European Union, they are interested in helping the Afghanistan to deal with this humanitarian crisis. Now China launches biodiversity fund. This is very important, especially for exams like CLAT and ALET. So China has pledged $233 million into a new fund to protect biodiversity, okay, for developing the biodiversity in a region. Now why? Because Beijing, which is the largest polluter, it has sought to play a more prominent role in combating the pollution and promoting the biodiversity in the region. Now there is one agenda which is called as 30 by 30 agenda. So what is this 30 by 30 agenda? So this 30 by 30 agenda means 30% of the earth, land and oceans should be protected by 2030. Means 30% of the land and 30% of the earth, they should have the protected status by 2030. This is very important information, you should note it. Then what is the requirement? अगर हम आज की बात करें, ठीक है ना, so we have to spend at least $350 billion annually to restore the nature by 2030 and $536 billion by 2050 according to the United Nations. Now again this is also very important information, one liner information है, आप इसको ऐसे नोट डाउन कर सकते हैं कि which country unveiled $35 billion revival plan. So it is France. So France has introduced euro 30 billion or $35 billion investment plan for developing innovative technology, industrial activity, then developing nuclear reactors, electric cars and greener airplane. Okay, इस प्लान का नाम क्या है? द प्लान का नाम है फ्रांस 2030 प्लान. सो इट इज़ फॉर द इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, इकोनॉमिक अपलिफ्टमेंट ऑफ फ्रांस आफ्टर द कोविड-19 स्लो डाउन. नाउ यहाँ पे अगर हम देखेंगे तो दिस प्लान, दिस पॉइंट इज दैट $8 billion of total euro 8 billion of total euro 30 billion will be used for developing energy technology that would help to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. Now there is some problem. France is the country where 70% of its electricity comes from nuclear reactor, but Germany, which is the part of the 27 nations bloc European Union, it wants to make European Union carbon neutral by 2050, and Germany wants that nuclear energy should not be included into the renewable energy. Why? Because Germany says that for obtaining uranium and other fuel for nuclear reactors, mining and long-term storage of radioactive waste is itself a polluting activity. Now the next news is that sea will rise for centuries to come. So over here the report is saying, here the report has come which is saying that even if we are successful in limiting the global warming at 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, then also sea level will continue to rise, and with this the 200 million people who are living in the coastal area, their life and livelihood will be danger. This report was released by Environmental Research Letters. Over here the report says that 9 of the 10 mega cities which are at very highest risk are in Asia. Then half the populations of Bangladesh and Vietnam, they will be in danger because of this trend. Now this issue is about IMF chief Kristalina Georgieva. when in the past, when she was CEO of World Bank, so there is an allegation against her that she and Ban Ki-moon, who was the president of World Bank at that time, they pressurized the group which releases ease of doing business report to give better ranking to China. So this is the allegation based on inquiry against her. Now the International Monetary Fund's Executive Board has backed Kristalina Georgieva, saying that there is no reason to resign. But US and Japan, okay, they are not backing Kristalina Georgieva. Some countries which are giving support to her are EU countries, France and Germany, China and Russia. But if you see US and Japan, they have hard line on this approach. Okay, so ease of doing business, if you will say, the ease of doing business ranking was released by World Bank to assess the ease of manufacturing in any country. In recent ranking, the India's rank was 63. The current World Bank president is David Malpass. World Bank and IMF both are the specialized agency of the United Nations. Now IMF, again International Monetary Fund, it is headquartered in Washington DC, USA. It has pegged India's growth at 9.5%. मतलब for this year India's GDP will grow at 9.5%. अगर हम RBI का फोरकास्ट देखें तो RBI का फोरकास्ट भी 9.5% ही है. Okay, so now earlier the projection was quite low, but now they have improved the projection for at 9.5% for this year and 8.5% for the next year. Okay, now there is a report which is called as World Economic Outlook. The World Economic Outlook report is released by International Monetary Fund. So over here, most of the point which is coming is that India is doing well in terms of vaccination rates, and which is going to help in India's recovery. It has been said by IMF Chief Economist Geeta Gopinath. अब ये भी एक factual information है which is important from exam point of view, that who is the Chief Economist of IMF. So she is Geeta Gopinath. Now who is the question comes that who is the managing director of IMF? Then Kristalina Georgieva. Who is the president of World Bank? David Malpass. Now government tells utilities to import coal. Now due to shortage of coal, government has asked all the power producers to import at least 10% of the coal, because to make up the stock. The second thing is the government has asked the state distribution companies, the electricity generation company in states, that not to sell electricity on power exchanges right now. If they have the surplus power, they should give it to another state. Now jabbing children. So as we have discussed this over here, the issue is that grant of emergency use authorization of Covaxin for children who are aged 2 to 18 years. Okay, now the approval will be given by Drug Controller General of India, VG Somani, and then it can be used. Zykov, which has already got the authorization, which has been granted the emergency use authorization, is still to be administered. And then Serum Institute of India is developing Covovax for children. Okay, but its timeline of production has extended. Over here, one of the major issue which has been highlighted over here is that the data should be made transparent. Okay, because as we have already told that it is very important to generate confidence among the people and the parents so that they can go for inoculation of their children. The next is IS versus Taliban. Here IS means Islamic State. So if we see the rise, there has been a recent rise in attack in Afghanistan, especially after the takeover of Taliban. First there was blast in Kabul, then there was blast in mosque in Kunduz. This mosque was of Shia community, and IS, Islamic State Khorasan, which has carried out the attack, they are against the Shias. Now what is happening over here is actually that the IS, which has lost its ground in Iraq and Syria, has got a favorable working atmosphere in Afghanistan. Now they are using this chaos which has been created in Afghanistan to spread their tentacles in Afghanistan, which can easily give them base to carry out their agenda or terrorist attacks in other Asian countries. Now what the danger they can impose to Taliban rule in Afghanistan? So see, this line is very important to understand, which I have marked. So see, the rise of ISK, it poses challenge to Taliban's rule over Afghanistan. Okay, now many saw that once the Taliban comes in Afghanistan, then the situation will stabilize, but now it seems that it is not stabilizing, but the Islamic State has made the security issue more precarious in Afghanistan. Okay, so this is the main threat. The second threat is that many who are the hardline supporters of Taliban, they may not find Taliban to be more Islamic once Taliban is ruling Afghanistan, and this may motivate to join them Islamic State Khorasan, which can lead to another war of terror in Afghanistan and destabilizing the whole region. Taking the lift of illicit financial flows. तो जिन लोगों ने पेंडोरा पेपर्स का इंफॉर्मेशन न्यूज़ मिस किया है वो इस न्यूज़ पे फोकस कर सकते हैं. पेंडोरा पेपर क्या है? पेंडोरा पेपर एक पेपर है जिसमें इलीगल फाइनेंशियल एक्टिविटीज़ का पूरा इंफॉर्मेशन है. इट वाज रिलीज्ड ऑन October 3rd बाय 600 journalists from 150 media outlets, which is called as International Consortium of Investigative Journalism. They have analyzed approximately 12 million documents, and then they have collected this document from different global financial institutions, and then they have published that how many individuals, including the powerful and rich individuals, have their account in tax havens. Okay, now is this the first revelation? So we will see, no, this is not the first revelation. In 2017 there was the leak of Paradise paper, okay, where the Apple by a law firm leaked the information. Then in 2016 there was the Panama paper leak, which was obtained from Mossack Fonseca company. Then in 2014 we had the Luxembourg leaks. So these leaks are always happening. Okay, the leak has also taken place in United States. Okay, when UBS Bank and Bradley Birkenfield, who was acting as a private banker, okay, they were prosecuted for enabling US citizens to spirit away their income and wealth, means to move their income from US to another country just to save tax. Okay, now if you will see, the New York and London, they are the hub of this illegal transactions which is going on. Why? Because there are various loopholes in the laws which are exploited by these rich individuals to stack their fund in low taxation countries, which are called as tax havens. Now how these tax havens work? So in understanding the tax havens work, we have to understand the process of layering. So tax havens, they enable the rich to hide their true asset by using a false companies such as trust shell companies through the process of layering. Okay, now this process of layering, which involves a ready-made shell companies which will have directors, and it will create trust, and then the money will be in the name of this trust, and once the money is transferred to the destination, then this trust will be dissolved. Okay, now this process of layering, it involves moving funds from one shell company in one tax haven to another shell company in another tax haven, and then liquidating the previous company. मतलब जो पहला कंपनी होगा उसका काम बस इतना ही होगा कि दूसरे टैक्स हेवन में पैसा पहुंचाना है और फिर उस पहले कंपनी को लिक्विडेट कर देना है, ख़त्म कर देना है. इस तरीके से क्या होता है, द मनी रिचेस टू इट्स डेस्टिनेशन. नाउ व्हाई रिच पीपल आर डूइंग दिस? जस्ट बिकॉज टू सेव taxes. Okay, so if we will just see the Panama Papers, so all the big leaders, politicians, public officials, celebrities, all their names have come in this. The Next is that if we just see today's data, so if you will see some of the leading names which are coming, like singer Shakira, Indian cricket captain Sachin Tendulkar, King of Jordan, President of Ukraine, Kenya, Ecuador, Prime Minister of Czech Republic, former British Minister Tony Blair, Russian President Vladimir Putin, their names are over here. Now what is the problem? You will see that Prime Minister, presidents are involved in this. So those persons who have been mandated to make the financial architecture, global financial architecture strong, they are itself exploiting the loopholes and keeping their money in tax havens. Now what about India's investigation? So if you will see that the Supreme Court appointed special investigations team which was set up in 2014 has not been able to make any significant progress. Then the government's focus on unorganized sector as the source of black income generation is also misplaced, okay, because the real culprit are those who are in the organized sector. Now how can we stop it? So if you are following the news, so we know that G7 has already agreed to a 15% minimum corporate rate or corporate tax rate, okay, that every country have to keep the corporate rate tax minimum at 15%. The second is to ending the black banking secrecy and Tobin tax on spot transactions, okay, Tobin tax, which is also called as financial transaction tax or Robin Hood tax. It is taxed on spot currency conversions. These are some of the policies which can be followed to curb the black money flow. The second is about the silicosis. So silicosis is a lung disease which is caused by inhaling the silicate dust. So it is most of the people who are working in mining industry, they suffer from this disease. Now this article is about how the system should be developed to save these people who suffer from silicosis, because these people are poor and they need the support from the state. One state, Rajasthan, which has a share of over 17% in value of mineral production and which has a long history of civil society activism, it was the first state to notify silicosis as epidemic in Rajasthan Epidemic Disease Act 1957, and then it has also announced pneumoconiosis policy in 2019. Then what is the current system? So if you will see that the District Minerals Foundation Trust Fund is to be used for treating the persons who are suffering from silicosis. And but why we are suffering the gap? We are suffering the gap, why? Because if you will see the system, then it is the work of mining owners to report to the examining doctors if anybody is suffering from silicosis, okay, and they also have to report to Director Generals of Mine Safety, which comes under Ministry of Labor and Environment, okay. Now if you will see the Mines Act 1952 and section 12 of Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code, they provide for this. Now in this notification, what is the problem? The notification is the problem in this is that the employer has to report the disease. But why employer will report the disease? Because then it will be on the employer to get the employee treated, okay. So we have to come up with the inspection systems which leads to the better outcome. Now the steps for prevention can be that the state government itself have to be very much alive of this problem, okay. So we can start with state departments in association with DGMS must develop a guidelines for district wise health surveys. Then there should be regular health checkups of all the workers. Then a state advisory board has to be developed for better planning and execution of this activities, like better screening and medical checkups. Then local manufacturers must be incentivized to innovate and develop low cost dust suppressant and wet drilling mechanism in mining. Okay, then there is District Mines Fund Trust, which should be utilized in proper way for developing the health checkup and treatment for these people who are working in mines. Now the sanctions could cloud over CASTA, so it is about the CAATSA. Now see what is CAATSA. CAATSA is Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act. So this was the act which was passed during Donald Trump time. Now why this is in news? So see, CAATSA means that the US will impose trade restrictions on those countries which are dealing with US adversaries like Russia, Iran and North Korea. So what is happening over here? India is going to buy S-400 missile for its air defense missile program like Turkey. Now Turkey is the part of NATO. Turkey also bought S-400 missile and it has been placed under CAATSA. Now India is not placed under CAATSA, okay, till now, because India has not got the delivery of S-400 missile. So the talk is going on is about the one provision of CAATSA where President of US can give an exception to a certain country to not to be included in CAATSA like Turkey and China. Okay, so here the steps which can be followed for India is that the presidential determination on waiver. Waiver means that India will get a waiver or India will not be included in CAATSA. Okay, the second is that the matter may be referred to congressional committees, and the third is that India gets clearance from these panels. Okay, so why CAATSA is important? Now see, if we just see about Quad and Indo-Pacific region, and India already has a civil nuclear deal with the US, so putting India in CAATSA may have implications on this strategic groupings which is developing between India and US. Now the next is boost tourism through disruption. So tourism is a less capital intensive and more employment oriented job. If we invest ₹1 million in tourism sector, it will generate 78 jobs in tourism sector. The same is that if we invest ₹1 million in manufacturing sector, it will generate just 18 jobs, and in agriculture only 45. So tourism is less capital intensive and high employment generating sector. Now if you will just see that the India Skill Report 2019 says that the Indian workforce is going to increase from 600 million to 473 million due to fourth industrial revolution. Fourth industrial revolution means application of artificial intelligence and machine learning in production process. So the tourism sector is going to have to play a very major role. Okay, now if we want to see the status of India, so India has to improve its competitiveness in travel and tourism. Okay, the current position of India in travel and tourism competitiveness report, which was released in 2019, is 34, but we have to develop from here. So we need to embrace the digital revolution, then promoting public-private partnership, then encouraging medium and small sized enterprises in tourism sector. One of the technology which we can specifically use is blockchain technology. So blockchain technology, it is like a digital ledger where once the information which is created and stored cannot be manipulated. This can be used in tourism sector along with IoT, means Internet of Things, which are called as disruptive technologies to boost the tourism sector. So if we see the most important news for today which you have to revise again, so one was about Covaxin getting the approval, which is very important. Then the second news which was coming was from so the second news was related with retail inflation. The third news which is coming is from humanitarian issues in Afghanistan and EU-US Taliban meeting, then Malabar exercise, then multimodal connectivity plan, means PM Gati Shakti plan of Prime Minister Modi, then biodiversity fund by China, and then the next news, important news, is about the IMF projection of India's growth, and The most important articles for today was about the Pandora paper, then Covaxin and IS versus Taliban. So these were some of the important news for today. Do revise it. We will meet tomorrow again with a new daily analysis. Thank you.